Hello everyone, my name is Taylor, and today I'm gonna go over the best level 160 life PvE build. So what stats are you gonna go for on this build? Well, the epitome of all life hitting stats right now is that sweet 200 damage. With damage cap gone, some of the philosophy on setting up gear is kind of different than my last videos. With how high Pierce is in newer content and with how high Resist is, damage and Pierce matter so much more if you're going to be a hitter. If you're interested in jading, I will have another video on the 160 jade setup relatively soon. My stats are not 200, but that's just because I don't have the pay to win mount, so keep that in mind. Health is at 11,600-ish. Damage is at 195, could be 200. My fire damage could also be at like 170. Resistance at 38, I could have over 120 flat resist, 15 accuracy. Would also want to have some accuracy to probably fire if I'm going to go fire alt school. That part doesn't really matter that much though, to be honest. Critical 603, block at 461, and Pierce at a whopping 43. This is really high for life, especially given my damage and everything else. I have 657 pip conversion, 102 power pip, and everything else is at the kind of a expected range. The healing in and out, I could have a little bit more if I did have the right pins to socket on this gear, but I don't really feel it's worth it because I don't really heal with the setup. So, for the hat, I'm running the Inspired Aeon hat. This does give a shield pin, so this is where you would socket the outgoing pin. You can farm those from Design Duelist if you'd like them. The robe, the best robe to go for is the Lively Robe of Nullity. This is the 160 upgrade. For boots, you want the Inspired Aeon boots. Wand, Inspired Aeon wand, socketing flat resistance. Athame, you want to use the Inspired Aeon Athame, socketing Pierce, Health, and Pip Jewel. You don't actually need a 10% Pip Jewel, so since this school kind of gets pips easily, you can socket a lower one if you want. For Amulet, use the Spirit of Dark module. You can socket 232 squares, and you get a lot of flat resist from this. And that Pierce is just really, really good. For the ring, Inspired Aeon ring, once again, great pip chance, great everything. Socket the flat resist. For the pet, I have the wrong Frillosaur. This one does give the set bonus for life damage. It gives +4 life damage. But if I had the mount and I had the other Frillosaur, the one that was fire and universal damage, I'd have +5. So I need to remake this pet, but on the one that gives +5 universal damage and get the mount to have that 200 life damage. For the mount, as I said, you can get the Frillosaur to get that 200, and if not, run whatever stat mount you want. Mini Mammoth is always good for Life Wizards for the 2% outgoing. I mean, it's whatever, but you know, it's there. Pierce mounts, damage mounts, all good. Decks. I'm currently running the Supreme Ancient One deck with the Pip Jewel. This one is pretty nice because you do get 6 copies of everything, but I will say that if you really, really want to get the best deck, there's 2 options. One is to get the Demiurge Triangle deck. This is the best deck for crit and block that you can possibly get in this game. And the other is the Void decks. The crafted 160 ones will give you Arc Mastery rating. This is especially useful as a life, since Arc Mastery you kind of need in order to use your 4 pips and use Pigsy, so having a little extra is kind of nice, and it gives a huge amount of pip conversion and block, and a nice card. But Taylor, I don't have the Nullity Robe. Fortunately, there's a really good alternative. The Eternal Robe gives identical stats to the Nullity, except you lose a good amount of damage, like 7% damage, but you gain about 1,000 health. For life, running the Aeon Robe is not really worth it, because then you have to run a hat, and that just takes your damage down even more. I'd recommend against doing that. Anyway, that'll be all from me. If this helps you out in any way, go ahead and give it a like, share, and subscribe down below. I'm going to have some other gear guides coming out pretty quickly afterwards. I'll see ya. Bye-bye.